Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The search for a swimmer missing off the East Coast comes to a close. Also tonight, be careful what you post on social media. It could land you in jail. And when will tourists come back? It's a question many are asking. In sports, big fish, little fish, we don't care. We just like to fish. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
Thank you for being here with us.
For finding ways to keep things happening.
For making things feel a lot better.
Thank you.
Energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I can say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life.
Thank you for staying strong with us.
And for us.
Thank you for always connecting.
For keeping us together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for reminding us
That despite this distance,
We are still better together.
Every day, I put the good stuff in. Yeah.
Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Hafa Day Tiruwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, July 10th, 2020. A swimsuit and other articles of clothing have been found, but no body for an individual that was swept into open waters at the infinity pool in Azteo last week. The Department of Public Safety says yesterday, July 9th, was the last day of the search for Honorio, Ricky, and Cabo. On Sunday, July 5th, Cabo fell into the water at the infinity pool, where search teams from DFW, CRM, CPA, and DPS were conducted by boat and helicopter. Cabo's swim trunks were found by a volunteer scuba diver, and a shirt and sock were found by DPS and DFIMS that were also confirmed to belong to Cabo. Due to the lack of any more evidence, the search has been called off. A terroristic threat on social media has one individual behind bars. According to the Department of Public Safety, John DeLangen was arrested yesterday for a comment he made on Facebook stating, quote, "Someone kill that guy already," end quote. DPS states concerned citizens sent screenshots of the comment to detectives who located DeLangen for questioning. DeLangen admitted to officers he had posted the comment, where he was then taken to Kanoa for COVID-19 clearance and then booked and detained at the Department of Corrections. Parole was revoked today for a local man who was convicted of killing a Korean man back in the 90s.
Parole revoked today for Sean Appleby. Appleby was sentenced to a 40-year prison term for killing Byung-Ok Soo in 1996 after robbing the victim's store. Appleby appeared in front of the parole board after being recently arrested for assault and battery. The victim testified today, and after deliberating, the parole board voted unanimously to revoke parole. Board Chair Ramon B. Camacho.
Not an easy decision, but based on the evidence presented to us, it really shows that there's a violation on the condition that we impose. I just want to make it clear that when we release an inmate under the parole, we establish, imposing conditions, and they must adhere to these conditions, and that condition is for their own good. Because the goal of the parole is, to see these people become a productive and law-abiding citizen.
When will Koreans start traveling again? Our Chris Nelson sits down with Brian Shin, new CEO of the hotel group that includes PIC, Kensington, and Coral Ocean Golf.
Elan Group has opened the Kensington Resort and will soon open the former Coral Ocean Point Golf Course. For now, the business will be aimed at local residents.
We hope to open the golf course by September 1, as long as there's no other extreme circumstances. Golf resort, we're planned to open around December.
That plan to open the resort rooms could change depending on what happens with tourism. Shin lists safety as one of the things that is attractive to him about the Mariana Islands.
Being a small island, I think they really care about each other here. So that tight community feeling, I think I really like about the island. And also it's relatively safe as far as I'm concerned. You know, I have no issue of going out at night.
What's your favorite natural attraction?
In Saipan? Our pop-up beach is definitely one of them, and right in front of Kensington. Managaha Island, I've been there. I mean, overall, I think Saipan stands out from other destinations because I think we preserve the nature better than other destinations I've been to.
When do you think Korean tourists will start traveling again?
Do I say honest answer?
Yeah. I mean, from what we know today, and these things change all the time, but
personal standpoint, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know we'll see any tourists from Korea anytime soon. I don't believe it's going to happen in the next month or two. Hope we will see some flight coming from Korea in 2020. But I think the challenge, as you know, is it's not a matter of us. I think that the matter of whether those exporting countries lifting the 14-day quarantine, that's the key. Because if they want to plan a one-week vacation in Saipan, they can come. I mean, no issues. But once they go back, they have to be in quarantine for another 14 days. So normal people don't have 20 days of a consecutive vacation time just for that, you know. Even if they have it, I can't foresee people using their vacation in quarantine, whether at home or facility. So it really depends on the situation in those exporting countries. I know Korea was getting a whole lot better about a month and two, but now they start to see more cases. They're still stable, I mean, compared to United States or other countries, but there's a bit of a flame still not put out yet. So.
A temporary fence has been placed around the gravesite at the Veterans Cemetery, addressing an issue that has been going on for years. It's a place to mourn, visit, and show respect. The Veterans Cemetery, located in Marpi, has over 100 individuals buried at the gravesite. Individuals who have fought for the freedoms we have today as U.S. citizens. But locals whose loved ones are buried there are upset due to a reoccurring issue on the upkeep of the cemetery.
Before we give my son the blessing to join the army, I know he was expecting us to see to it that when this time comes, he will be buried at a peaceful place, a sacred place. But unfortunately, cows that roam in and out for more than 2 years, we as a family, we cannot accept that. I expect our government and those who are supposed to keep up with the maintenance of our cemetery to do their job.
Cows roam the gravesite seeking grass to eat, but along the trek leave droppings on the headstones and burial plots. And families of those buried there just want something to be done to stop the defacing of the cemetery.
It's been 5 years. Since I buried my son, I never missed a day. I'm the type of person, I go there middle of the night, 12 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 a.m., 2 p.m. They're not living up to our expectation. So I don't trust them. I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. Because it's the same. Whenever we complain, they run to DPO, have a meeting by themselves. And here they go out on the news, tell people that, they let the family know. We don't know anything.
But this isn't the first time this issue has been brought up. Congressman Gregorio Sablan says it goes back years.
The upkeep of the cemetery is not a new thing. It's been recurring for years. So we have people come in, people call in, and we call up the Veterans Affairs Office, not with this Mr. Ayacopo, but even prior years. So, but there's very little they say they can do because they lack the resources.
A meeting was held 2 weeks ago where officials from different departments addressed the issue of cow manure on the cemetery.
The closest permittee has informed DPL in this meeting 2 weeks ago that his fence is broken and was very much a part of the joint meeting that we had. The other option that the Director of Compliance said during the day of the meeting is that we will call DPS and ask them to either remove or shoot the cattle. That's pretty harsh, and that's not where we want to go.
Executive Officer of the Veterans Affairs Office, Stanley Jacopo, says he has heard the concerns of the cows desecrating sacred grounds and takes full responsibility. And as of Tuesday this week, Jacopo has presented a solution to the problem.
I take full responsibility for this because I am here. And I think society tends to forget our veterans. We are not going to forget our veterans. This is the CNMI cemetery for Veterans Cemetery. And I'm the guy that's sitting in this office, and I'm in charge. And I'm responsible. We put up a temporary fence. As you can see, this is about approximately 200, close to 300 feet long, and it goes out, and then it's going to stretch out about 100-something feet wide, with one entry point over here. And this is the only way you're going to get in and get out, so the families can come in and visit their loved ones, with accommodation to this side. So when we have burials, we can open up to DPW when they come in to dig for the backhoe and trucks to come in. So as you can see to this, adjacent to this side, they will come in so only for that purpose.
He says the temporary fence will remain until the permanent fence is complete that will surround the whole cemetery, which is projected to be complete by the end of this year. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. The last time the CNMI Fire Department had a ladder truck was in the early 90s. On Thursday's budget hearing, fire officials say more resources are needed. But due to the lack of funding, they asked for a security on personnel pay instead. Sally Lemus has this story.
Statistics of the CNMI Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services show an average of 10,000 emergency responses per year. DFEMS has responded to 819 emergency calls for the month of May alone and more than 2,000 fire incidents this year. Assistant Fire Chief Jesse Mesa responds to concerns on the need of ladder trucks by the department.
The need for any ladder trucks, because of the fact that we have buildings that exceed higher than 3 stories, the answer would be yes.
Mesa says the fire department did have a ladder truck back in the early 90s.
In history, yes, we did have one. That was down at Station 1. It was called the Bronzo Skylift. It exists with 150 feet reach for any rescue or fire temp. At this point, we don't have any ladder or skylift.
But the lack of funding affected 3 parts.
Sustainability, parts, and certified mechanics. So in the first 2 years when we had one, or first to 3 years, we was contracted off island. After that contract expired, providing that services to that truck became a challenge because of the funding issue.
Fire Chief Dennis James Mendiola says he understands the current economic state of the CNMI and would like to focus more on personnel.
The greatest asset that I have in the department is the personnel. We can make things happen with personnel.
The governor's fiscal year 2021 proposed budget for DFEMS is $3.5 million.
Given the state of the CNMI, we really don't have any other options, and that's why I'm pleading to Ways and Means pretty much to just try and fund our personnel, which is the biggest cost. And we can, I think with the revolving funds, whatever we receive, we can start working with our other expenditures.
Commissioner Mendiola also shares information on the recent response to a distressed swimmer at the Infinity Pool. Despite many community concerns on the lack of resources and training, Mendiola says they are doing all they can.
The resources are there. It's just, of course, it's never to anyone's standard for that matter. So, I mean, we got 2 boats. We got maybe anywhere from 10 to 15 guys doing search and rescue. But of course, we have a large water that we got to cover.
Reporting for KSPN News, I'm Sally Lemis.
Coming up, a longtime vet calls it quits. More on this after the break.
At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
For all those going out each day, doing what they can to hold us all together, we're here to help those helping us all by keeping our lights on.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Passerbys on Beach Road may wonder what is going on these days. At the long-abandoned Hakubotan building, R&V construction workers have been renovating the site for the new Bank of Saipan. Currently, the bank has 2 small branches, one in Garapan and one in Chalankanoa. This week, workers were busy getting a new parking lot up to speed. Further north, next to Ete Cafe, is Guy Baldwin's old airplane, which was extensively damaged by Super Typhoon U2. Gabaldon is a famous World War II hero who also lived on Saipan. Owner Steve Jang says it will be featured next to his barbecue, helping to make Garapan more iconic. Paradise Animal Hospital is basically no more, and it leaves a pretty big hole in the intensive care for island animals. The retiring vet says a low-cost animal shelter has made it hard to run a full-scale veterinary practice, while the animal shelter says they are just trying to help. Our Chris Nelson has more.
Over the 20 years Dr. Tudor has had his animal hospital set up, he's seen a lot of things. In 2007, he stopped short of euthanizing this dog and helped get a new lease on life and a new way to get around. He's done body repair to turtles, he's worked on migratory birds, the sandcastle tiger, a lion, a bear, and even a whale.
Can't get it in.
Not long enough?
No, it's just there's too much pressure. You can't get it past the blood pressure in the body.
He helped research bones found in the trash of a local restaurant, determined that the restaurant was serving dog. When you are the only vet in town, life can be interesting.
Not only all dog bones, but they're all puppy bones.
Times are changing and the animal hospital is closed. Mostly, that is. The longtime vet has sort of quit, /retired, decided to work out of his Sadagtasi home. And it means that Saipan has no dedicated animal doctor in private practice. Tudor says it will be hard to get someone, and he says a low-cost animal shelter that is providing services has made it hard to be in business.
Keep in mind, I'm the third veterinarian that's come here. One left after a year and a half, one left after 6 months, all for the same reason as because of the non-thinking, clamor that veterinarians shouldn't charge for what they do.
Dr. Tudor is almost 70, and you would hope that a new animal doctor would be waiting in the wings to take over, but he says there's not much interest.
Because of the way I close, no other veterinarian wants to come here. I had somebody in Guam that wanted to look at moving out here and buying the practice. He just, once he heard what was going on, he said, I'm not going to come there. And I didn't blame him. And I said,
What is going on? What's the situation? What's made it hard for you to
Well, to give you an idea, we were doing probably about 500 spays and neuters a year, along with just unknown numbers of surgeries and different things. The whole time I've been here, we could pretty well handle anything surgical.
Tudor says that all changed when Saipan Cares for Animals started bringing in vets from off-island to do low-cost spay clinics.
Overnight, my numbers went down to, like maybe 10 a month.
Saipan Cares for Animals say they have done over 3,000 low-cost spays in the last 4 years. Talking to Director Beth Plisco, you get the feeling that she's motivated by nothing more than wanting to help.
I'm doing this because there's a great need. I would rather that the government did this kind of work. I think the government should have a community clinic and do this kind of work and offer spay and neuter, and then also have private vet practice. It's really necessary for both those things. We don't get any government funding. We don't get any grants of any kind. We're supported only by the community.
Tudor says the low-cost services may be a short-term boon to pet owners, but in the long term it means that his business is no longer viable. Plisco says, hold on a minute.
I don't believe that's true at all. We offer very low-cost care, but we don't have a veterinarian on staff. And we only offer very basic clinic help for the animals. I think there's a lot of reasons why he went out of business, and I definitely would have loved to have worked with him. In fact, I offered to work with him so that he might give back to the community. But he was not interested in doing any kind of charity.
Tudor says that the animal shelter is also dispensing medicine when a vet is not present.
On top of that, when I started seeing people being dispensed medicine and surgeries being done when there wasn't a veterinarian here, I went and talked to the AG, and the AG looked at it and thought about it and said, oh, well, there's nothing that says they can't do that.
There's no licensing necessary on Saipan for veterinarians.
There's a big rule that says that I can't do things without getting continuing education every year and without having a certain quality of care that we provide and so on and so on. But there's nothing that says that you can't, that just anybody can't just open up a veterinary hospital. And of course they have no idea what they're doing. This is a very complex, profession.
It would be wonderful, absolutely wonderful, if we had a licensed vet here that would also donate give back to the community. That's why we do what we do, because there's a big need.
Saipan Cares for Animals say they hope to attract a vet to come live and work here in the coming months. In the meantime, Dr. Tudor is seeing a limited amount of animals in his home. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Chris. All right, coming up in the KSPN2 Sports Report, we're going to reel in fish news.
life gets better. Get on better internet plans with the strongest internet from Docomo Pacific. With whole home Wi-Fi, it's the better way to work, play, and surf at home with the fastest download and upload speeds in the CNMI. Your better internet comes with the free Plume SuperPod for the strongest and safest Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. Sign up today for as low as $50 a month and get a free smart tablet. Better value for your best connection. Because in everything we do, we are always better together.
Welcome to the Marianas Eye Institute. Our office on Beach Road is staffed with U.S. certified eye care technicians, doctors that have received national recognition, and a friendly, professional staff that will look after you and your loved ones. With over 1,200 eyeglass frames to choose from and an in-house lab, we can make most glasses in about an hour. And we even feature a mobile clinic to bring eye care to you. Keep your eyes healthy and strong with professional eye care at the Marianas Eye Institute.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, it's tournament time, almost. No baseball, no basketball, no soccer, no nothing except golf and fishing. We'll take it. The 35th annual Saipan International Billfish Tournament won't be like the previous 34. Instead of 2 days, it'll just be 1 day, Saturday, July the 25th. Saipan Fishermen's Association President Gene Weaver explains the decision to slice the tournament in half.
All the companies out there, we rely heavily on sponsors. And we don't have what we normally would, but there are some companies that did come through for us. Mobile, Marpac, Coral Reef Marine out of Guam. Actually, we're going to be raffling a boat at the end of the year. We'll be selling tickets for that. We got MVA, we got Docomo. And they came and, with all this COVID going on, there's a lot of negatives and a lot of people just enclosed. Yeah. We want to get people out.
Prizes will also be revised. How about prizes? Are they the same?
The prizes, no, they're not. We are removing the grand prize and we're removing the total weight. So we're going to go first to third on all categories. And we are guaranteeing $3,000 for that top prize, which is the first place Martin. Okay. And they'll have the bragging rights for the whole year.
From the biggest fish to the smallest, we love them all. Micro Beach has become increasingly crowded on weekends, but on weekdays, not so much.
One, two. Oh, that was the perfect throw.
Beautiful. That allowed BJ Kittigwa to get some fresh food as little fish are plentiful these days. Oh, good.
Yeah.
How's that? How would you say that is today, this morning?
First throw?
Yeah, for first throw.
Pretty alright start. Just something to get too excited because right when I threw this, I saw a bigger school. I didn't see that. I only saw this one on the left side. There was a bigger school on the right side.
Well, I'd like to help you out. I was out there next to the sandbar on the right side, and I had to get out because all the fish were nibbling at my toes and my feet, and that bothered me. I had to come back in. Kittigwa's net is landing juvenile fish.
Yeah. Tomorrow we call this aquas. These fish can grow up to like this big, like this fat. They can get pretty big.
Now, when they're that small, how do you?
We scale it, and then we take out the guts, clip out these sharp fins. But they will poke you. Because what we do is we salt it. We salt it and we let it sit in that salt for like about a week, a couple days. Then you can take it out of the jar, like get it like this, like a good handful. Then you rinse it, and then you can put it in a bowl and do your mix. Lemon, soy sauce if you want, salt, Ajinomoto, and hot pepper.
That's a lot of work for a little fish. Is it worth it?
Oh yeah.
Of course, smaller the fish, the more you need.
You see those little garlic jars?
Yes.
The square ones?
Yeah.
Okay, something about that size. If it's clean and salted already, we sell it for what? $20, $15. You know, so this is not all gonna go to waste. I'm not gonna eat everything.
BJ says he just acquired this skill recently.
I actually just learned last year.
Wow.
Yeah, my stepdad taught me, but I've been seeing my relatives do it. Yes, I was for about 20 years. I was only into spearfishing.
How long did it take you to master the net?
If you go every day, anybody, you teach anyone, and they go every day for about 2 weeks, you understand already the momentum of throwing, when to let it go.
There are different sizes of nets, and he uses one especially designed for the small fish.
The ones a lot of people are looking for, like T-Ow, EE, those are harder to get. They're only, even in the season, there's, you know when it's season, because you're going to see a lot of people with nets on the beach.
Did you ever catch a mafudi in there?
Yes, but not a big one, not a big one. If anything, any kind of fish about like this big or bigger goes in this net, it will tear it.
Net fishing isn't only for sardines.
And some people are very specific. They'll get the cast nets for like throwing on the reef, like this, very low tide. Even lower would be better. They go down San Antonio or Tanapak, where you can walk all the way out to the reef, and it's so low that you know that you can see the rocks, maybe about a foot or less of water. You can really spot them when it's really shallow. You can get mafuti like this big. I've seen boys catch like this big mafuti. Yeah, with a cast net. With the proper cast net, you can catch just about anything.
Our Facebook Fish of the Week comes from Vincent Tudela. Now, when people look for Vince on his Facebook page, they'll see a fish too.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Today's high 90, the low 82, heat index 104. Humidity 67%, tomorrow partly cloudy, isolated showers, east winds 10 to 15. High 90, low 80, seas 2 to 4 feet. Sunrise 5:53, low tide 6:35. High tide 11:04 in the morning, low tide, second low tide 6:05. Sunset at 6:51. It's official, the weekend begins right now. Thank you for watching, see you back here Monday.